The future is bright and the future does appear to be green. In this video, looking at a new government announcement to build back greener, creating thousands of new jobs and also creating some new national parks. I'm really excited about this one. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Bamford, a chartered financial planner at Informed Choice and something of an environmentalist myself. So I was very pleased today to see this new government announcement to build back greener. And this is a theme I think we're going to hear an awful lot more about in the next few years as we recover from the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The really big focus will be about a green future for the UK, in keeping with what lots of other countries are doing as well. It's not just here in the UK that this is happening. So we've seen announcements today from the government, thousands of new jobs to be created and retained under this Prime Minister's 10-point plan to drive the UK's green ambition. We don't have the 10-point plan yet, that's coming later in the week, and there's some talk in some of the left-wing newspapers, particularly The Guardian today, that there's a lot of internal bickering between Number 10 Downing Street and the Treasury about the affordability of some of these measures. So what we'll see in that 10-point plan is still to be seen, but we've got some of the headline announcements. So we're hearing about new national parks and also greater protections for England's iconic landscapes, and also a blueprint to be published this week about the UK's green industrial revolution, creating thousands of jobs, making progress on net zero targets. This, I think, is really exciting stuff because, as I said at the start of the video, I'm something of an environmentalist. I'm the chairman of an environmental charity that looks after a public parkland here in the village where I live and work. I drive an electric car. I walk wherever I can. I try and stay off airlines, going for international travel, that sort of thing. So I think of myself as quite a green person. That's one of my values, something I really stand for. And thinking about the bigger picture as the UK economy bounces back from the COVID-19 pandemic, and also as we leave the European Union at the start of next year, we finish our transition period, and essentially as we restructure the economy because the world is changing, because we're seeing the rise of tech giants, we're seeing the rise of automation and artificial intelligence, the future is going to look very, very different from the past. And that future, I think, is going to look green. So good to see the UK government accepting that and hopefully leading the charge. So we're hearing about an additional £40 million investment in the Green Recovery Challenge Fund. That money is going to go towards environmental charities and partners to create thousands of new jobs. It's going to be spent on the twin challenges, as the government addresses them, of biodiversity loss and climate change. And this is all to do with the green recovery from COVID-19. And I'll read here from a press release from the government some of their priorities for that £40 million of investment. They're going to take action towards the creation or restoration of priority habitats, preventing or cleaning up pollution, woodland creation, peatland and wetland restoration, and also actions to help people connect with nature. They've also announced today that more of England's natural areas, beautiful, iconic, beautiful places in the UK, will be turned into national parks and areas of national beauty. That's going to increase access for communities and also protect that rich wildlife environment for those different national parks that are created. I think the most recent national park we saw created in England was the South Downs National Park, not too far from where I am here in Surrey. And I suspect we're going to see a whole range of smaller national parks designated as part of this Prime Minister's 10-point action plan. We're also going to hear details about 10 landscape recovery projects in England which will take place over the next 4 years, designed to restore peatlands and woodlands, create rich wildlife habitats, and that, again, looking forward to the details of where they're going to be. Apparently that's going to restore and protect the equivalent of 30,000 football pitches in England. So the announcement we're expecting this week from the Prime Minister Boris Johnson, this 10-point green action plan, will include his plans to achieve far more green jobs and also to achieve the target the UK has set of reaching net zero by 2050 when it comes to carbon emissions. So in a statement from Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he said, "As we build back greener, we're taking new steps to expand and enhance our landscapes, creating and retaining thousands of green jobs in the process, which will be crucial for my 10-point action plan for delivering delivering a green recovery. He continued, Britain's iconic landscapes are part of the fabric of our national identity, sustaining our communities, driving local economies and inspiring people across the ages. That's why, with the natural world under threat, it's more important than ever that we act now to enhance our natural environment and protect our precious wildlife and biodiversity. Now, I know that green economic plans like this can be controversial in some camps, and I think that's because to date, economic success for a country has been measured solely by GDP growth, or gross domestic product, so a measurement of the output of the economy. That, of course, does not take into account the impact on the environment, on biodiversity, on wildlife, on the habitats which we all rely on so heavily to achieve those economic growth figures. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing the Oxford economist Kate Raworth on my podcast. Kate is the author of a fantastic book called Donut Economics. And the donut, which Kate describes in her fantastic book, is a way of ensuring that we achieve our economic goals without overshooting economic constraints. So we achieve those very important economic goals, but we don't break the environment in the sake of doing so. It's about ensuring we achieve the social foundations which were inspired by the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Those are food security, health, education, income and work, peace and justice, political voice, social equality, gender equality, housing, networks, energy and water. But we achieve those social foundations without breaching the ecological ceilings, which is the second ring of the donut. And those ecological ceilings, there's 9 of them in total. They are climate change, ocean acidification, chemical pollution, nitrogen and phosphorus loading, freshwater withdrawals, land conversion, biodiversity loss, air pollution and ozone layer depletion. Now, it's a case of balance, isn't it? Because we obviously can't continue to sustain the sort of economic growth that the UK has seen in recent decades, even the past century or longer, at the expense of the environment, because we have finite resources, and we're seeing this particularly in the area of energy production. We can't continue to dig fossil fuels out of the earth forever to convert into energy, so we've got to find new ways of doing so. Now, there will be controversy in some of this. I know that the 10-point plan announced by Boris Johnson later this week will not be met with positive praise from everybody. Nothing ever is that comes from the UK government. One area in particular I think is likely to be criticised is the focus on nuclear power. Of course, a zero-emission form of power generation, but it comes with risks, it comes with long-term impact for the environment. So that, no doubt, will be seen as a negative. But there's a few things in this 10-point plan that I would love to see personally. One is an investment in green and sustainable transport infrastructure. Something I would dearly love to see as an owner of an e-scooter myself is the immediate legalisation of e-scooters for use on the public highway. As things stand, these fantastic forms of very clean transport, what are known as a last mile solution, so very good from getting from your final mile of your journey, they are illegal to use on the pavements and on the highway, on the public roads. And you can actually be given 6 points on your driving licence and quite a substantial cash fine if the police catch you using one of these things. Just be very careful not to get caught. But they are a fantastic, a very safe and a very green form of transport. There are lots of trials, e-scooter trials taking place in various cities and towns around the UK at the moment, but let's hope that Boris Johnson fast-tracks their legalisation when he announces his 10-point plan this week. The other thing I would love to see more of is outdoor education, and I'm biased here. My wife Becky is a forest school teacher. She has her own business which is about sharing outdoor education with as many people as possible, and I think what we really need to see in this country is a seed change when it comes to education. The education system we have currently in the UK is based on a very Victorian industrial education system, sitting at your desk, learning, being there from 9 till 3, being in uniform, etc. This was setting children up for working in the factories during the Victorian Industrial Revolution. We are in a different world now, and we'll be in a very different world in the future. So I would love to see a greater emphasis on outdoor education, on learning to coexist with our planet. And I hope I don't sound like a complete green nut by saying this sort of stuff. This is important long term. I have children, I think about the next generation, and I think about the things we need to do to ensure that we allow them to inhabit a planet that's not entirely destroyed. So important stuff coming up. We're going to keep a close eye on Boris Johnson's 10-point green plan as it gets announced later this week, and I'll do another video to react to some of the details that we see from that 10-point plan. What do you think of it? What do you think about this building back greener revolution, this agenda now set by the UK government? Does it make sense to you? Do you back it, or are you critical of some of the ways in which they'll achieve their aims? Do let me know down in the comments down below. Until next time, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this and on a whole range of personal finance, investment, economic and happiness topics. I'll be back soon, but until next time, thank you for watching. I'm Martin Bamford from Informed Choice, and remember, when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow.